Yellow, what's going on? It's YelloPain, and you're listening to WRSU FM New Brunswick, home of Rutgers Radio.
So, thank you for taking the time to be here today. I know you're super busy. You got all these interviews going on. So,
Yeah.
So you've garnered so much success from all of your music and My Vote Don't Count, and it's really such a important song, during this time. But I have to ask, where did the name YelloPain come from?
Yeah, so I needed a name that reflected who I was and how I was feeling at the time, especially with my music. And yellow is a color that typically represents happiness, and pain represents everything I've been through. So it's a happy representation of my pain, just meaning stay strong no matter what.
Yeah. And yellow used to be my favorite color too, because I was like, this is like so bright, happy. It really is like that color. So it's unique. So how did you get into rapping? Like when did that start? How did that happen?
I started rapping when I was 7. My older cousin, he was a rapper, and he used to like get the girls, and he had a lot of attention. I wanted to be like him. And that influenced me. I was just like, I want to live like that. And I started rapping, and he was a gangster rapper. So I was like, I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna be.
That's what I'm gonna get into. You're like the complete opposite of that now.
And yeah, so he inspired me, and I jumped into it. And it started off, just something like just to do to get a little bit of attention, and eventually it became an emotional outlet for me. And it became something that I felt like I could turn to when times got hard. So I'm glad I got introduced to it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's like good too, because it's like you love music, so then you make music your passion, and then it's your job. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
So the music video for My Vote Don't Count was co-produced with your cousin Desiree Timms, who she's a running for a congressional seat in Ohio, right?
Yes.
So did she have any hand in like getting you interested in politics and social issues, or like what inspired you to, talk about that and speak up upon that?
She's the sole reason why I got introduced into politics. My cousin came to me sometime late last year, and she was like, "Cuz, I want you to make a song about voting. You have a platform. A lot of people listen to you. It would be a good idea. You could get the young people interested in voting." But I wasn't personally interested in voting, and voting for me. I mean, not voting. Sorry, making music for me is something that I do from the heart. So I was like, cuz I'm a pass on that. I'm not interested in politics. I don't feel like my vote counts. I don't feel And she explained to me over the course of a couple months how voting actually affects my everyday life. And when she broke it down to me with the specific issues that I was dealing with and that were going on in my community and how voting impacts them, I had a wake up moment. And I was like, cuz, you mean to tell me that like if we vote, this can change and this can change, and that's direct to that? Why didn't I know that? And I was upset with myself after that. Like, why don't I know this information? Why hasn't anybody taught me this information? Why doesn't my community know this information? So, with that type of passion at that moment, I was like, I felt an obligation to myself and to my community to make sure everybody had that same wake up moment I had.
Exactly. That's incredible. She really, that vision that she had for you, that really just took you off. That was amazing. That was so smart of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
So, did you always, like you said, you didn't really want to talk, you really didn't think your vote doesn't matter or doesn't count. Why did you, ultimately, she told you about all these issues and how, voting does really help locally and federally and all that stuff. So why did you ultimately decide, I'm going to talk about this in my music and continue to this day? Why didn't you just stop there?
Yeah, so I originally didn't feel like my vote counted because I went and participated, in the election in 2012. I went to vote for Obama, and I felt like I didn't see anything change. So I thought that was the end all be all. Like, all right, you vote for a candidate and then nothing happens. Are you serious? Like, still broke. My community, it still looks like this, and I felt I was, so upset. But then when I found out that there was another election 2 years later for congressional candidates who make the directly impact my community, and I didn't show up in 2 years. Nobody I know showed up in 2 years. I don't even think a person ever talk about an election out.
Yeah.
So even with just knowing that, before I see any change, I know that I felt bamboozled, and I felt I have to be a part of this conversation. I have to. If there's a potential for me to help change my community, and I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I'm not sure if you're very familiar with it, but it's not a whole lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
And I want my community to get better for sure.
Yeah.
That some people in my neighborhoods grew up. It just doesn't have to be that way,
Exactly.
and it's not even fair. So
it really isn't.
Part of that change.
Yeah. And you're getting so much recognition from your community and people nationally, internationally, like everywhere. What does that feel like, finally?
It's amazing.
Getting that recognition you deserve.
Amazing. And especially being an artist, because, so many people get praised for so many more shallow subject matters.
Yeah, meaningful things. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get it can get discouraging, and you can wonder, like, am I doing the right thing? I'm being I'm genuine and I'm doing it from my heart, but at the same time, my dream is to be like a super
exactly
rapper. So when it starts to all pan out, it just feels, really amazing. And it's just that reassuring feeling that, okay, you can be who you are and achieve what you want. So I'm excited.
That's amazing. So you got Armie Queen, 7th Streeter, to hop on My Vote Will Count. What was that like? I mean, her music is incredible. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I had 7th Streeter has an amazing voice, and she was already very vocal, like with the movement, like with everything going on this year with the protest. She was active. She was making sure that she was out there and her voice was being heard. So it was only right for her to get on it. And then just the chemistry, 7, that's my dog now. Like, I'm super excited and honored for her to be a part of My Vote Will Count, and just to even know her at this point.
Yeah, that's like legendary right there. Like, seriously. So all of your music, really talks about, the importance of voting, and we've talked about that, but why is it so important for us to vote now? For the people who don't know, who haven't listened to your music, why should they, and why is your music so, important for letting people know about, that their voice will be heard?
Yeah, so with voting, I try to tell people that there are people that show up to every election. There are people that their life, they understand politics, they understand the power of voting, and they're showing up to the polls every election. And then you have a large group of people, people like myself, millennials, people who don't have a lot of money, who feel like the system doesn't work for them, who decide they're not going to show up to the polls because they feel like their vote doesn't matter. And other people are showing up to the polls and voting in their favor, and we're suffering on this path. So it's like, are you going to allow people to continually make decisions for your life when you have rights to actually participate in this? Like, we have to show up.
Exactly.
It's not a choice, really. It's like life.
Exactly. And it's like a privilege to vote in a way. Like, so many people, who, like, people in DC and Puerto Rico can't vote, and like incarcerated people can't vote. It's really important that, we stand up for them and things like that. Yeah, definitely. Are there any organizations you like to shout out, or any places, people should donate to, or anything like that, or something that you're really passionate about?
Yeah, most definitely. Vote.org. You go there to get registered to vote. Everything you need to know about voting, you can go to vote.org. So I definitely 100% stamp vote.org. Even in like my most recent video, My Vote Will Count, I have work all through the video. So make sure you go there and get registered to vote. If it's not too late, I live in Ohio, so October 5th was the last day, but it's still open for a lot of people in the US. So make sure y'all go vote and y'all get registered ASAP.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I have one more question for you. So I saw during quarantine, you did like a little, cooking tip for pizza rolls to make them more exciting. Like that. I'm going to do that from now on so that they're not as bland. No, I haven't tried it. Okay. Cause this is the thing. I'm trying to eat like more healthier or whatever, but I saw that, but anyways,
well,
but
if you ever eat pizza rolls again,
I have to do your trick.
Yeah, you got to.
So do you have any other like cooking hacks or tips you have for us? Anything, a special recipe, anything?
Nah, I'm not no chef, man.
Oh, come on.
I had to put this, I had to spice up the pizza rolls, we take meals that, that we take nothing and try to make something out of it. So, I could throw down on some ramen noodles, so I could,
exactly.
Other than that, stay out the kitchen.
Stay out the kitchen. I love that. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. You are doing such incredible work. Your music is incredible. Great message all around. Really great stuff. So thank you again so much. Thank you. All right.